Deleted emotions in Inside Out. The first forgotten one was guilt, and this probably happened because there was no real function for it in the story. The only time Riley must have felt guilty was when she broke a plate when she was little, and in the end, when she gave up running away from home. But at the end, it was sadness who represented those alone emotions very well, because if you think about it, guilt is kind of sadness. So creating another emotion just for that would be implying too much just for something so little in the story. Not to mention, it would also take much effort for the animators. And look, I'm talking about the story that we saw in the final version. Of course, there was a lot of other ideas that were discarded. Just so you have an idea, in the first movie's version, Joy would get out of the control room with fear instead of sadness. And in the real world, Riley's problems would resolve around a pumpkin contest. Yeah, I much prefer the final version that we got. Maybe in this old version, guilt would have an important play in the story, but since the story was changed, this emotion was considered dispensable. Moving on, we have a pair of emotions, greed and envy. Those are other ones that were removed because they weren't that important to the plot, but it is possible that in the previous versions of the script they were. Actually, looking back at these concept arts, it comes to my mind that maybe the director picked Doctor's idea was to use those two as villains in the movie. I mean, take a look at these designs. These looks and postures, let's agree, those two look a lot like villains. And that must be what the animators had in mind. I mean, I know Joy also wasn't that good of a person, but you can call her a villain, right? So with no villain, no role for greed and envy. And then comes irritation. This one, I think it's pretty easy to guess why it was removed. Because if it was on the film, anger and irritation together, you can be assured that a lot of people would be talking about how those two emotions made it the same thing. Well, technically, they are two different things. Irritation refers as a contained fury, and anger refers as a really explosive emotion, like when Riley lost it with her dad. But even though I think that we all agree that it was much easier just to be one character that represents all levels of angriness. So irritation, you're out of the picture. In the same way, pessimism was another discarded emotion, because it was too similar with sadness. And really, watching the movie, you can see that just the blue one was enough to represent the other feeling too. It's a professional's job, my friend, so pessimism, there is no place for you. Get out of the movie and out of my life, please. And now we have shame and embarrassment. Apparently, the plan was to make a trio of these two and fear. They would have been three inseparable friends, ready to cause a lot of afflictions to poor Riley. But with time, the screenwriters and the director realized that there wasn't worth to put in all these emotions. So of the three, they only kept fear, because this one, we can take it out of the list, right? Fear is the core emotion, and embarrassment will come just now, in Inside Out too. And shame was forgotten. Even though, let's be honest, shame and embarrassment are kind of the same, and more worth to keep both on the same character. And if you agree, don't be afraid to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, okay? Thanks! Well, at that point, you must be wondering, Julie, but there are only negative emotions in this list? The only positive emotion that Riley has is joy all along? The answer is no, my dear ones. Along with joy in the first movie was also gonna have the feature hope. You can even see from this image that she was supposed to be an orange emotion, not anxiety. She even had a face of a friendly character, with that little smile and fairy looking design. But again, we fall in the case of the emotions that were too similar. The writers didn't see any reason to put her in the movie. And since we're talking about positive emotions, the first Inside Out would feature no other than love. And of all the characters since the beginning of this video, this one is for sure the one that I wanted to see the most in the movie. Actually, I hope that someday she appears. I really hope they could put him in a way of surprise in the ending of the second movie, but since this didn't happen, maybe leave it for the third movie? I don't know. But you can say that this character, Love, would represent these feelings. in every form, not only in romantic love. So if him was in the first movie, probably his work would be to show Riley the love that she felt for her family, and only then when she would be older that emotion would start to work in the romance department. Well, comment down below if you would have liked to see love in the movie. Also, comment another emotion that you would like to see. The comment section is yours to comment whatever you want, with respect, of course. And if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, so we can always talk about Inside Out and other cartoons. And that's it for today. Hasta la vista!